Welcome to another episode of The Fit Frequency. I'm your host, Doug Wattenschaidt, owner of Delaware Fit Factory, and today we have another awesome guest for you. Today's guest is Ryan King. He's been with Delaware Fit Factory for about 2 years now, not only doing CrossFit with us, but also being part of our nutrition program, where we've been working on building healthy habits to help bring down his weight and his body fat percentage while building muscle. So not only are we seeing his fitness increase, we're seeing his overall health get better as well. In this episode, we talk about our initial conversation when he came in to inquire about the gym, telling me that he was huffing and puffing while mowing his lawn and he had to take a break, through a really awesome part of his fitness journey where he noticed his increase in fitness in the real world, ripping a tree out of the ground without any hesitation or difficulty, and then what he's up to now with some pretty awesome Olympic weightlifting goals. So without further ado, here is Ryan King. Ryan, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been here, and then what it was like when you first got started at Delaware Fit Factory.
Yep. So my name's Ryan King, and I've been with Delaware Fit Factory now since 2024. I think that's right.
I think so.
So yeah, got wife and 3 kids, and kind of grew up here around Delaware on a farming background, and still work in the ag industry and everything. And I came here because honestly, I'd been driving by it, and my position at the time had me at a spot where I was sitting in a car all day, just kind of going from meeting to meeting and meal to meal and eating fast food almost every day. And I was the heaviest I'd ever been and just felt miserable. Field trip with my kids at the zoo wore me out. Couldn't mow my lawn without taking breaks. And finally, just one day, said something to my wife, and I was like, we drive past that gym between our house and your parents all the time. I think I'm going to stop in and see what it's all about. And been here pretty much ever since, and definitely enjoy every ounce of it. So
very cool. So remember, you sent you're in our nutrition program too, so we talk quite a bit outside of our workouts. You sent me a photo of a tree. Tell me about that. Tell me about that day.
Yeah, so that tree had kind of died on me and everything, and just decided one day, hey, it needs to come down, and just cut it down and just kept right on going. And I mean, there was no breaks, there was no just the level of activity and physical labor and everything that was involved, was definitely not something I could have done a year prior. It would have been an all-day project, and I had it down and chopped up and stacked in a couple hours, and definitely would not have been the case, like I said, a year ago.
Yeah,
kind of thing. So
going from having to take a break from mowing your lawn to being able to do an entire day worth of landscaping in a couple hours,
yeah,
and then take pictures and tell me all about it, and not feel like you needed to run right to bed. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Also goes to show the power of your nutrition and your fitness in the real world. You might have, I don't know, but it's not like you went up to the tree and you just power cleaned it out of the ground. It kind of translated to real world strength and whatnot, which is really awesome. So let's talk a little bit about, do you mind if we talk about the nutrition side of things before we get into the fun part? Because a lot of people, when I ask them when they first start here, well, how's your nutrition? So I now that I'm thinking about it, I need to reword that question, because 9 times out of 10, it's pretty good. And it's well, okay. So you had mentioned fast food almost every day. Tell us a little bit about your nutrition, and then how we kind of slowly but steadily made some changes.
Yeah. So, if you would have asked me when I came in, I think it was like May of 24, I probably would have told you, that's pretty good. But it was hot garbage. I mean, my nutrition, my eating it was fast food. It was snacks from the gas station. I was probably pounding at least 6 diet sodas a day. You know, actual water wasn't that wasn't even in a vocabulary. So yeah, and you definitely recognize that working with me on the nutrition side, and really, like you said, did those small changes, like, hey, it was, let's try and only eat out maybe this many times a week at first, and focusing on, hey, let's ditch, maybe the fried option for a green veggie and that type of thing. And and it's the part that I really have appreciated the most is that you recognize in working through the nutrition with me that there's times where the backslide happens or whatever, or work's just stupid and everything else, and it's like, okay, well, we were on a good trend, we slipped up, how can we modify, what can we do to keep you in those healthier habits, even when life is in the way. And so it's never been a straight journey. It's been very up and down, but it's now to the point where matter of fact, like yesterday, had a donut for the first time in forever, and it was frankly awful. Like, I didn't like it. It wasn't good. It was way too sweet. And then I even like commented later in the day, like, I wasn't hungry, and my daughter asked why, and I was like, I ate sweets today for the first time in a long time, and I was like, and I don't feel good after. And so it's like, and then you have that like mental shift where it's like, did that really just happen? Where prior, if I was at a meeting or something, it would have been nothing to take down, 2 donuts and a couple of coffee, going that route for a breakfast at a meeting. And so, to see that shift and literally be sitting there later in the day going, God, that was stupid. Like, it wasn't even good. Like, why did I do that? It's a huge mental shift compared to where I was at, in that spring of 24. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you mentioned, it's not a linear path. Like, excuse me. There's been, ups and downs and setbacks and whatnot that you mentioned. And it's definitely tough to get over the all or nothing mindset. I'm sure when you started, you have that donut and just, okay, the rest of the day is done. But now you've kind of set a new standard of like, if you do treat yourself with something like that, it's like, okay, I had it. I'm not going to just continue to eat more and more and more of that stuff the rest of the day. But then also, you kind of touched on starting with the super simple stuff, rather than giving you like a spreadsheet and telling you absolutely need to do these things. Like, we started really, really simple. We want to create wins and kind of get your mental fitness and toughness, up to par, so that you can come in here and do hard things, because like, it's fun, right? Burpees are not necessarily fun, but doing burpees with other people it can be a good time. But then like making the tough decision when it comes to nutrition, if you get like bombarded with 20,000 nutrition decisions to make, and like those are infinitely harder than workout decisions, that can be overwhelming. So we started really, really slow, and you were absolutely crushing it. I remember the Diet Coke thing, like, it took us all 2 weeks for me to be like, I'm confident we can move on. Like, you're absolutely crushing this. And then, as you get more confident in the gym and you get more confident with your nutrition, we get more and more and more to the point where like now we're like focusing on a specific protein goal and measuring things so that we can like really fine tune. And we started with that 2 years ago. Yeah. Like, either your brain would have exploded or you'd thrown in the towel, and I don't blame you. I think a lot of people especially around New Year's, like this time, they do that. They try
Yeah.
to overhaul everything, and they get overwhelmed, and then they throw in the towel. So.
Absolutely. And I mean, and even, almost 2 years into it, the goal is pretty much as simple as like 1 can of pop, so much protein, and vegetables. And, and it's kind of at that spot now where I don't want to say it's on autopilot, but it feels a little bit like that, where it's like, yeah, I'm continuously checking off the goals, but it's that habit stacking that got us there to that point. And, and recognizing like, what have I done it all for? I've done it for a healthier me. To be honest, when I came in here, the goal was, lose weight, move. And that has evolved so much over time, but just getting to that point where I'm in that comfortable, habit's not the right word, but routine, that just day in, day out, I don't even think about it anymore. Breakfast is, since I'm a 5 a.m. class, person, it's eat a little bit of carbs before I come in, get my workout in, go home, make breakfast for the kids, and it's eggs, it's a Greek yogurt, it's something that's going to give me give my body protein after that workout. And at that point, I don't even think about it anymore. Breakfast is just habit. It's just every day. Even when I'm not here, I get up, I have the same type of breakfast, not the same items every day, but the same nutrition goal every morning. And that's one of the big things that we started with was, hey, let's start with a healthy breakfast. Not that bowl of cereal, or that, McDonald's egg sandwich on the run, that kind of thing. It was, hey, let's cut out the time, make a healthy breakfast. So,
yeah. So you said you used the word goal, several times, and we're hitting those initial goals, like lose weight and move and sweat. You're constantly doing those. So switching gears, like I mentioned, it's a little bit after New Year's, and we've got a lot of fun stuff on our calendar at DFF, like throughout the year that people set goals around. What kind of fitness goals? When you first started here, it was like, I just want to be able to like walk afterwards. I want to be able to get to my car and go home. Cool. Mission accomplished. Like your fitness has definitely improved. Dare I say exponentially. Like you're absolutely able to crush workouts. So what kind of 2026 goals do you have in regards to your fitness?
So as far as my fitness, for 2026, I really wanted to put some intention behind learning my Olympic lifts and putting more practice into those. It's just part of CrossFit that I enjoy is those lifts. And not that the coaching is bad. I mean, you and I have had that talk. Like I've learned everything because I knew nothing about that before I started. But because I enjoy it, I want to be better at it. And so I've really started dedicating time each week to like intentionally focusing on that on my own. And it's been rewarding, because for me, it gives me that feeling that I know enough now that I can go out and do some of this stuff on my own. Because when I started, I knew nothing about the fitness world, like whatsoever. I could have told you like, oh yeah, deadlift, you pick it up off the ground, but I knew that was it,
Yeah.
And so to have gone from that to, less than 2 years later, being at that spot where it's like, I'm comfortable that I can put the personal intention behind it and grow and be better, in my own way, that still transfers to here in the classes, transfers to my family life, that kind of stuff. To me, it's not just about the Olympic lifting. It's also kind of a mental goal of, keeping that commitment to myself that, hey, one day a week, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to focus on these lifts. And so far, I mean, not even a month in, but I haven't missed a week, and proud of that. So
Yeah, as you should be. That's really cool. I was talking with one of the coaches about, somebody had mentioned that you were in the back doing snatches a couple days a week, and I was just like, yeah, we talked about he's got these really cool goals, and we got into this conversation that really early on, I was very fortunate to meet. Early for me, definitely. Like Rogue was already established, but I got to meet the owner of Rogue, Bill Henniger, and first thing he said was like, "It's really cool that you still clean the bathroom." And I was just like, "That's weird for you to say," but it was just, he's like, "That shows you got a lot of like pride in your job and all that kind of stuff." And then he told me this like really cool analogy of like a bike wheel and how CrossFit has helped so many different areas of fitness, and the hub of the wheel would be CrossFit, and then all the spokes, it's all these different things, like people who never thought they'd be able to do a pull-up, now they're striving to get that pull-up. So that's like one of the spokes, and it's debatable, but like seeing as I got into Olympic lifting the same way you did, like through CrossFit, a lot of people say that CrossFit is responsible for like saving Olympic weightlifting, and basically maybe not saving it, but making it as big as it is today, because so many people get introduced to it, and that's another great big spoke. Same with like strongman, and then like a lot of people had never seen or been on a rower or anything like that, and now there's all kinds of like fitness events and whatnot that include rowing, or just like rowing events in general. So it's really cool to see that like you're still doing CrossFit and you found part of CrossFit that you love. And I don't want to say it's like become part of your identity, but it's, as we get older, it's kind of hard as an adult to do many things, but to find a hobby that's not like sit and complain about politics at the dinner table. Like you found a hobby, and that hobby is Olympic weightlifting, and you found it through your fitness routine, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, even then, I guess, as far as a fitness goal, I would say Olympic weightlifting, but I think that goal really translates more to, I guess, intention, especially when I'm here, whether it be my workouts or that kind of stuff. So, like if we're in a workout and it just says, hey, 15 calories or whatever, it's not that I don't like the rower. It's that I know that's probably my strongest suit. I can't stand the bike, and so I've been spending more time on the bike. It is pushing myself, being that that much more intentional about why I'm here, and taking that spot that maybe is a little bit more difficult, and hey, let's push myself. Let's get here. Let's get to where I'm comfortable with the bike, and it doesn't matter whether it's the bike, the ski, the row. I'm going to jump on it, and I'm going to know that I can put my effort into it and get to where I want to go. So, yeah, very cool. Super cliche, but what growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So it's coaches will say it until we're blue in the face. Like, you should choose what you're not good at. So we're never going to tell somebody that absolutely not. You rode the past 2 days. You're not rowing today. But it is cool when people see like, this is going to be really hard if I choose the bike. I'm going to choose the bike. Yeah. So very cool. Very cool. So rapid fire questions coming at you. Try not to think too much. Just say like, they'll be fitness related. Most of them. I don't know. I might come up with one. First thing that comes into your mind, favorite CrossFit movement? Ooh. I'm going to have to say snatches. I like power snatch, squat snatch. I enjoy it. There's a lot that goes into it on the mental side, and I feel like you got to think about it. It's not just a movement you can grip it and rip it. You got to really actually think about what you're doing and pay attention to your body. And so, I like it because I got to lock in.
Very cool. Least favorite CrossFit movement?
Oh, that one's, I would say probably box jumps. I don't know. I'm I consider myself very uncoordinated. I would also say I am vertically challenged in that department, in that not so much height-wise, but just jumping and that kind of stuff. It's not my strong suit. It's definitely something that I've been avoiding. So it's one of those ones that I plan on focusing on this year. But yeah, definitely box jumps. So.
Okay. All right. Winter or summer?
Ooh. I'm going to say summer because we actually do go outside at that point, whether it's for short sprints, runs, whatever. Sometimes it's nice to get a little bit of a fresh breeze in on the workout. So.
Okay. Favorite machine?
I'm going to have to say rower. So, yeah.
Least favorite machine?
Bike. Yeah, definitely the bike.
All right. So the open is the open's right around the corner. We're telling everybody, hey, regardless of whether you sign up to do the intramural open and enjoy Friday Night Lights with us, we're going to do the workouts all day in class. And we're not in charge of the workouts. They come from CrossFit headquarters. What is something you are hoping to see in the open?
Ooh. I would say toast bar, just because that was a really big one for me to get. And I haven't practiced them near as much as I probably should, but there's still some confidence there that I've got them. And even if it's, a few here or there, I think that would be pretty neat to be able to do toast bar in the open for the first time.
Okay. Very cool. I think a lot of people would be excited to see some of the more technical gymnastics because so many of us have been working on it, or we're always working on it. A movement that you're hoping, praying will not show up. If it does show up, you're dreading it.
It'll show up, but jump rope, anything
jump rope?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, okay, side quest here. Before joining Delaware Fit Factory, when was the last time that you even held a jump rope?
Whenever the last gym class that made me jump rope would have been.
Like third grade jump rope for heart?
Somewhere in there, probably elementary school.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, so last question, and I think I've asked you this before for just like a real quick Instagram clip. You run into somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, I think I saw your photo on Instagram. I don't know if that gym's for me. I'm intimidated or whatever." They're ready to, or they're almost ready to make that lifestyle change. Almost ready to join a gym. Might be this gym, might be another gym. What are you going to tell them?
I think hesitation is normal. Because it's kind of the unknown, so you're gonna be hesitant about it. But the thing that probably means the most to me is the fact that the coaches truly do care about our progress. It's a totally different kind of coaching than you think about, like with a sport, whether it was like high school soccer or volleyball, even college sports. It's really about that growth of the individual. And so, when I got toes to bar for the first time, you were excited for me. Jess was excited for me. Like, the coaches were genuinely excited to see that progress. And so to me, just that totally different perspective on the coaching really makes the difference because they genuinely care about the individual. Started with, barely being able to do a sit-up and that kind of stuff. And now, I don't have V-ups yet, but alt V-ups and GHDs and all of that, like, it's all come because of the coaches here. And I would have done none of it without them. So. Awesome.
Well, I'm absolutely going to pass that along in all of our communication to let them know. I screenshot a lot of our nutrition messages when you're giving me they're like, hey, coaching was awesome this morning. I'm like, okay, I'm going to send that some good feedback. So very cool to hear. Ryan, thank you for sitting down, chit-chatting.
Yep.
Anything else you want listeners to know about you, or just about the process or anything, members, non-members, whatever it is? Anything else you want to say to the people before we sign off here?
I would just say, if you're on the fence, give it a try. At least come in, talk to the coaches, and see what it's actually about, because I was the most unathletic person ever growing up, and never in my life would I have thought I'd be doing toes to bar or box jumps, as much as I hate them, or even lifting the weights that I lift. So yeah, definitely a game changer.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep, thank you.